Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. Usually I'm dishing out advice on the acting business, and there is a little bit of advice in today's video, but mostly I just want to talk about something that is weighing heavily on me. It's not so much a negative thing, it's actually a really positive thing. It is the whole Harvey Weinstein #MeToo movement, all the stuff that has been going on lately that started out in our entertainment industry and now has just spread like wildfire, which is a good thing because now people all over the world are speaking out finally against all the inappropriate behavior and sexual harassment and sexual assault that has been going on. And I just feel like it is a really exciting time to be alive right now and to be part of this movement, because this is not a blip in the radar. This is a big deal that I honestly believe will be in the history books someday. I am warning you now that this video might go in all kinds of different directions and tangents. So if that is not your thing, then catch me on the next one. I mean, there's really two big issues that this whole movement has really brought to light. The first obviously being the treatment of women and how women have always been seen as the lesser sex. And we've always had to fight tooth and nail for equal pay, equal rights, equal everything, which is freaking ridiculous. And that battle really has been going on for a long time. And a lot of women in the entertainment industry have been really fighting hard for it in the past couple of years. But the other main issue that this whole movement has brought to light is the issue of sexual abuse against men and women. It's been going on far too long, and it will continue to go on. It will never stop, I don't think, but at least now things have shifted in a way that it's just not easy to get away with it anymore. Victims now feel like they have the proper support. And this really is not just the entertainment industry, it's everywhere. There's an incredible documentary on Netflix called The Hunting Ground, and it's about colleges and the staggering statistics of female students that are sexually abused in college, and they're silenced. They are silenced by their attackers, and the worst part is they are silenced by the colleges. If you watch that documentary, you will be floored and disgusted. For far too long, women have had to just kind of deal with the way things are, and that's just how men are and blah, blah, blah. And it has just become the norm. And to me, that's unacceptable. And it really is everywhere. I mean, I was talking with my mom last week, and she told me a horrific story about in the 80s when she was working at this company as a secretary or an assistant, but she was working in an office. I mean, the things that her boss said and did to her are mortifying. And you know what? He didn't get fired for it. She got moved to a different department. And I'm sorry, but that is a crock of shit. And this really seems to be the way that it's handled every time something like that happens. I mean, in the documentary, The Hunting Ground that I was talking about, the first thing that some of these guidance counselors said to the female students who came forward saying they got raped were, well, what were you wearing? And believe me, I know that just by stating my opinion on this, there are going to be people who want to argue with me and say that it's just the industry I'm in, or that maybe I dressed inappropriately, or maybe I posted a photo of myself that was suggestive. But guess what? Just because of a profession that someone chooses, whether it be a secretary, a coffee barista, or an actress, nothing that a person chooses to do as their profession and their passion is an invitation for any kind of sexual abuse or sexual harassment. And I get it. There are women out there who want that kind of attention, or there are women out there who are in professions that put them in bad situations on a frequent basis. But guess what? Nobody deserves to be sexually attacked. I told you this video was going to be all over the place. I mean, there is really so much to say about all of this, and I get so freaking fired up talking about it, and I really could go on for hours. But what I really want to talk about now, and by the time this video goes up, it's going to be old news because I record my videos ahead of time. But yesterday, Time Magazine named their Person of the Year the entire #MeToo movement, which is so beautiful and fitting and perfect, and makes me so happy that this movement is getting the recognition that it deserves, because I really do think that this is a huge moment in time. This is a huge change. They made a gorgeous video that I'm going to put in the description box down below. You've got to watch it. It's really about the silence breakers of the Me Too movement, the ones who came forward and spoke up first. The whole Me Too movement was actually started over a decade ago by an African-American woman named Tarana Burke, and she's in the video. You've got to watch it. It is so incredible. And it's just a really nice, pointed, accurate summary of everything that's been going on for the past couple months. But it's crazy, I have to say, from someone in the industry who knows who Harvey Weinstein is, and exactly how powerful he is. I personally did not know about his reputation, but apparently a lot of people in the industry did. There's a lot of men in the industry with that kind of reputation. But when all the Harvey Weinstein stuff broke, and then it was like a domino effect of people getting called out, I mean, it was like mind-blowing, but at the same time, not surprising at all. And that's not good. We have come to expect that this is the way that people behave, and that if you want to be an actress, you're going to run into people who are going to put you in situations where you have to choose to comply with their sexual demands or jeopardize your career, lose the job. I'm so lucky that that has never happened to me. I have never been in that exact position, but I know people, women and men, who that have happened to. And there's an incredible episode on the Anna Faris's Unqualified podcast that just came out a couple weeks ago. It is the Ariel Kebbel episode. I urge you to listen to that too, because they both so beautifully talk about this issue. And Anna describes an event that happened to her that was so highly inappropriate, but she was silent about it because that is just the way we have taught ourselves to be, unfortunately. And in being silent, we are part of the problem. And that is really the message that I want to get across today. I know there's a lot of hurt when you have to bring up things that have happened to you. If Rose McGowan and the other women who came forward about Harvey Weinstein had continued to be silent, as they had because they were protecting themselves, it was too hard to come forward. But they finally broke their silence, and now look what happened. Think about all the women who are never going to have to be in that situation because they broke their silence. All the women that are not going to have their career just totally obliterated because they didn't want to have sex with some disgusting, greasy piece of garbage. The fact that they took down Harvey Weinstein, who was one of the most powerful men in Hollywood, it's shocking and incredible and freaking amazing. And those women breaking their silence and allowing for that to happen has made it possible for so many men and women to come forward and tell their stories. And finally, all those attackers are getting what they deserved. And finally, all this kind of abuse is not going to be accepted as the norm anymore. So here's where the advice comes in. Yes, this is a huge change. Yes, we're taking huge strides forward as we should. But that doesn't mean that everything is perfect. There are still going to be people out there who try to pull this kind of crap. So that means that you still have to take care of yourself. That means that you don't put yourself in any kind of situation where something like this can happen. Don't meet a producer at a hotel. Don't go on a date with somebody just because they're making it sound like it's a dinner where you're going to discuss the project. Sometimes it's very obvious that it is something other than that. And parents, if you have kids in the industry, especially teenagers, please don't send them anywhere by themselves. I was listening to a podcast that I really love called Motherhood in Hollywood, and the host was referring to something that Ellen Page said about going to dinner with someone when she was 16 and that person hitting on her. Please don't send your child anywhere alone. I mean, nothing is worth putting them in that kind of situation to advance their career. No. Obviously, no matter what kind of situation anyone puts themselves in, the attacker is still the attacker and the victim is still the victim. But if you can prevent something like that from happening to you, believe me, I understand that your career is a really big deal, and it's really hard to make forward moves in this industry. I mean, there's just so much against you, and there are going to be opportunities that present themselves that can literally make or break you. I just want you to know that if you have to make a decision that really doesn't make you feel good inside about who you are, it's not worth it. You know, the only person who wins in that situation is the bad guy. Wow, this is definitely a rambling type of video, isn't it? And I probably haven't even said everything that I want to say, and it probably didn't even make sense, and I'll probably get called out on things that I said that were wrong, but you know, this is where I'm at right now, and I just really wanted to talk to you guys about it and remind you all that nothing is worth sacrificing your integrity. Please always remember that you are in charge of you. You have the power. Do not ever give your power away. So that's it for today's video, you guys. I know it was a little different than what I usually put out, but it's a really important topic, and this is a really positive change for men and women alike. And I think that we are really moving in a positive direction, and I am just so intensely proud of all the men and women who came forward and broke their silence and shared their Me Too stories, because they really changed the future. They did. Bye, guys. See you next time.